Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Peachy's Little Podcast. We are on episode 7, and we'll be talking about weather in Little Cup today. I have my co-host Tira with me.
Hello, everyone. This is Zero Price. Thank you for joining this week. And this week, our special guest will be none other than Matrix.
Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boy Matrix, and I'm excited to be talking about some weather with y'all today.
Thanks for joining us today, Matrix.
Of
So
course, of
let's get the
course.
big one out of the way. Without a doubt, best weather in the tier is sun.
Sand.
There's little, shut up. There's no competition. Vulpix plus Bulbasaur is tried and true. They're menaces, really.
Yeah, definitely Sun. It's not even like Sun's the only thing that has been discussed to be banned in 8mon quite a few times. It has been banned in 8mon before, so it is definitely the
Yeah.
best weather for Little Cup.
And a lot of leagues that I run, I ban Heat Rock just because of how tired I am of seeing Sun. Because it's not even just Bulbasaur. You can get options like a Bellsprout, Oddish. If you want to get really cheap, you can get like Cherubi and other stuff like that.
I always love Kirby as
So
like
many
the
Chlorophyllmons.
the secondary Sun sweeper. Like the one that
Yeah,
breaks for Bulbasaur to clean.
And my favorite, or not one of my, not my favorite, but one of my sleepers, Deerling. Hello.
I
Yeah,
agree. I like
Deerling,
Dueling.
Execute, like there's a bunch of different chlorophyll mons.
If there's Hoppip, there is a Hoppip right there.
Y- y-
Acrobatics, yes, please.
Yeah, no one's using Hopper.
Yeah, I know.
Um, I will say, depending on the price, Capsicid's not too bad either. Its coverage isn't horrendous.
I forgot
I think it's
Capsicid
maybe
was
like
a Pokemon. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, it's not that it's kind of but it's different that it's mostly like a physical chlorophyll mon, which is unique, I guess.
That's very
It's
true.
not bad for its price. And even outside of chlorophyll mons, you of course have Pokemon like Charmander and Numel, which really love the sun as well. Charmander has the choice scarf and then it uses is it solar power? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Solar
solar
power, yeah,
power.
that is
Solar
exactly it.
power. Yeah, it's how much of a boost is it? Is it 30%?
I don't know. I don't like Charmander.
I like
I don't I,
Houndour. Solar power. So, oh, wait, no, it doesn't get. Never mind. Scratch that.
why am
I'm
I
saying
know it.
like Hound.
I know it does 1/12 of your HP, but why can't I think how much boost
It's
is
either
solar power?
50% or 30%.
Maybe it's 50.
I
Hold on,
can,
let me pull up
It's
my
1.5 boost.
yeah,
okay,
50%.
so 50%.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah, your stab solar power fire blasts in the sun gonna hurt a lot.
my biggest issue with Charmander is it's stopped by the exact same things that Vulpix is.
Yeah,
The bulky waters,
Very
the
true.
fires. It's like it's not breaking anything that Vulpix
I
wants
didn't
to be
even realize
broken.
it doesn't
It's
even
it's
have
just
solar beam either.
yeah, it's just a secondary Vulpix that doesn't set up the sun. So now you have two fire types that are stopped by the exact same mons. It's really tough to use. Kind of
yeah.
like
But
constricts
I
the
will
team.
say like Charmander's usually like 6 points, so it's not bad to have as an extra option, but you are right.
Yeah, I usually like whenever I draft Sun, I always avoid drafting Charmander because Charmander is just a trap, in my opinion. It's
That's
like
very
when you
fair.
draft Sun, you don't want to like have your whole team be based around like because
Yeah.
it's still going to take a pretty chunk out of your budget, but you don't want your whole team to be based around Sun because there's always going to be teams that are anti-Sun. That's like Sun has been like so big in the meta for so long that there have now been like useful counters built for it.
I will say on the point of bulky water stopping Vulpix, an interesting thing, I'm pretty sure it got this in Gen 9. It just got a nasty plot. So you can
It
actually
did.
kind of
Yep.
so you can do nasty plot and energy ball stuff. So Vulpix itself, even disregarding its partners, is still very
Yeah.
strong itself.
Yeah, I meant to say fires. That's what I meant to say. Fires and whatever else Vulpix can't touch with just the fire and grass coverage.
For sure. I mean, and Numel's also kind of a gimmicky thing, but
I like
with
Numel
simple,
more without sun, I think.
that's true. That's very true.
Uh,
I like seeing it use flame charge and getting +4 attack by clicking growth in the sun.
Oh yeah, that is fun.
I'll just trigger some PTSD for me from that Numal. Yeah. I've had way too many bad experiences with Numal. Facing it, I should say.
Yeah, it's surprising sometimes. That will scare you.
Pretty much
Yep.
so.
And the beauty of drafting sun is you draft Vulpix, and then you're kind of just guaranteed to get Bulbasaur at the end of the draft. So you don't even have to worry about your 7th or 8th pick because
Yeah.
Bulbasaur is useless at its price range without Sun, and Vulpix is the only Sun setter that you're not in the competition to get Bulbasaur, which is really nice.
Yeah,
Will say
and I
good.
mean, so you go.
I was gonna say, good complementary piece that's neither grass or fire type that abuses the sun. Good complementary piece, Slowpoke, in my opinion.
I was just about to mention it. Yep.
Yep, you do need to get. I do think Slowpoke is like one of the required mods to get for Sun. It's one that's like more. I think that was like a few years ago. I think Beardy was the one who discovered it, but it's just an amazing pivot piece to use in Sun. You can like pivot out slowly. You can take on the stuff that's like trying to stop Bulbasaur uh and Vulpix. It's usually like bulkier fighting types that like can pack Fire Punch. Like could take a Bulbasaur hit and then kill them back. And then Slowpoke loves taking those on. Also, just like fire types in general. Even if Slowpoke is getting weakened by the sun, it is still able to take those on just with its natural bulk, and then can pivot out, can paralyze it, can weaken it a little bit to where it can be broken through with Bulbasaur. So yeah, Slowpoke's really nice with sun.
Like it's got flamethrower coverage as well. Like it's got stuff to handle like opposing grass types and whatnot.
Yeah, that Gen 1 coverage.
Gotta love Gen 1.
Woo, Gen 1. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I mean, the other thing too with Slowpoke is that it's not too many people draft it either, so you're really likely to get a Slowpoke as well.
yeah, it's like Slowpoke and Bulbasaur are just pretty much like they're not drafted at all unless Vulpix is drafted with them. I mean, Slowpoke can be drafted sometimes. I've seen it drafted a few times, so that's a little bit more sketchy on if it'll make it to you or not. Like you can't guarantee it like you can with Bulbasaur, but still, it is barely drafted.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend
Also,
getting it second in your draft.
Also, do not get too caught in your head about getting like Prankster, Sunny Day, Riolu, and Purloin. It can be nice, but don't always try and force it. Riolu is definitely better, just because you slot in your fighting type with it. Purloin's kind of like iffy on running Sun teams. It's like it can work, but it's nothing. If you don't get it, it's whatever.
Yeah, I don't
Love
think like
Purloin.
Sun teams need Prankster. It is nice to have Prankster, but it's not exactly necessary to have it.
Yeah, if you are going to get one, I would just recommend getting Riolu just so you can roll condense and get your fighting type while you do it. Or Prankster, Sunny Day, Shroodle. What do we think, Tiro?
Strudel the goat.
I don't count Shrew as a Pokemon in general, but that could work.
Yeah.
Does it even get Sunny Day?
It does, yeah, it
Uh,
gets both Sunny Day and Rain Dance.
Okay, so it gets those two. All right. It can technically work. It can technically work.
This is not an endorsement on Shroodle.
and
All
sure
right.
I endorse this message.
And real quick before we move on to the next weather, we gotta put the mention in there. I believe, let me check this real quick. I did use a Sunny Day Stunky one time. I did do that. It was not good, but I did it.
I was about to say, when are we going to discuss Stunky?
We
Yeah,
got it. This is like the
I
section.
don't I
Throw
don't
it
think
in.
using Sunny Days Donkey is good, but you know what? It got that general mention in there.
Yeah, we got to throw it in there. Don't draft it for that, but we got to throw it in there. Um, Second best weather we have is hail or I guess snow. Now, I mean,
Yeah,
we're
it
gonna get
is
used to
now
that.
snow.
True.
But and the fun part here is we actually have three setters: Alolan Vulpix, Snover, and Amora.
Yep, which means that if you're drafting snow, you have to draft a Alolan Sandshrew first, because that's the
Yes,
only good snow sweeper. There is no other. You can
Very true.
you want to talk about Cubchoo? Cubchoo's not a good snow sweeper. I'm sorry.
it's not good. I will say they did give it a lot of random ass coverage moves this generation,
Cool.
and
It still sucks.
it sucks, but it's like I would look into getting it alongside Alolan Sandshrew because its attack stats pretty nice. I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying you can actually use it as opposed to last generation.
I wouldn't even. I would just get the Alolan Sandshrew plus no setter, and that's it. Once
I
again, I
mean,
don't like dedicating a whole
Cupchu's like
team to like
4 points.
trying to be one thing.
Yeah. But I just would like to say that I think Cubchoo's actually not a terrible mon now. Like it's only 4 points anyway, so but of the three options, something you should know, Amora, if you're looking for Aurora Veil, Vulpix and Amora have it. Snover does not. So
Yeah,
just keep that one in mind.
the big issue when you
Um,
get with Amora is that it's getting hit. It's dying to the exact same things that is going to take out Alolan Sandshrew. So like it's
mhm.
sort of like the Charmander plus Vulpix issue of you're not covering anything with having those two. It's a nice Pokemon. Like it can be like it is like probably the best mon that doesn't need to run snow all the time out of the three snow setters, but it's still like running into the exact same issues that
Yeah,
Alolan Sandshrew will run into.
if you're looking for Aurora Veil, Vulpix is definitely the one you want to get. Um, I think on average, Snover's probably the best of the three.
By far.
Like on average, yeah. Um,
Alolan Vulpix gets blocked by even more than regular Vulpix does.
yeah.
That's
But
very
hey, I
true.
think it's like one of the only ice types in Little Cup to get freeze dry. I think it's like that, Swinub, Amora, and that might be it. Maybe Frigibax randomly.
To be fair, there aren't that many ice types
I
to
think I can
draft.
confirm. Ridgebacks does get ice or freeze dry, but
Yeah.
35 special attack is kind of pitiful.
Yeah. um,
Oh, and Galarian Darumaka gets freeze dry too for some
oh
reason.
shit, how could I forget that one?
Shout out to
Doesn't it have
the
like base
special attacking
doesn't it have
Galarian Daryumaka.
doesn't it have like base 15 special attack?
Exactly.
It's really hitting those wire types really
Yeah.
hard there. I mean, also
Um,
like with the snow buff this generation with the 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 boost in defense, sort of like how Sand would boost special defense. Now Snow is able to boost defense for the ice types. It makes like Alolan Sandshrew, it can actually live a Mach Punch, which is kind of
yeah.
crazy. Can it live a Vacuum
Typically
Wave?
how I
No.
would typically how I view the snow setters, Amora is the best if you don't draft a Alolan Sandshrew. Like Amora is
Yeah.
typically the best on its own. Um, Snover can work on its own. It's a bit harder to do, but it's not a bad Pokemon outside of Hail. It's just a bit pricey for not committing to it. Alolan Vulpix, if you get it, you're getting Alolan Sandshrew. Like if you pick Vulpix, you're dedicated to that Sandshrew. The other two, you don't
No, I think it's
have
yeah,
to
I think
pick
it's
them.
Snover. If you get Snover, you're dedicated to the Sandshrew. I think Alolan Vulpix you can draft just for the screens aspect, and that's it. Which I've seen. I
Maybe.
don't agree with it, but I have seen it happen quite a few times. Snover,
I have
it's
too.
like
Yeah.
it's the why are you drafting this if you're not getting Alolan Sandshrew? You're just wasting money.
I do. I like it with the defense boost and Giga Drain. It's actually kind of tankier. At least in Gen 8, I fucking hated Snover, but with the Gen 8, but I mean the Gen 9 buff. Granted, I'm not telling you to draft it without a lone Sandshrew, but I've seen it work a few times. It's not that bad, but it's pretty pricey if you do that. So it's like a
Yeah, exactly. That's the big
last
issue. Is it's
ditch,
super pricey.
like a
It's not
last
worth.
yeah, it's like a last ditch. You really need that like bulky grass type for whatever reason. But Amore is the easiest one to get away with not having
Yeah,
Sandshrew by a mile.
exactly.
It's
All
Plus,
just
have
right.
quite a bit of
a,
coverage too.
Yep, it gets meteor beam, and that's all that matters.
There you go.
does Amore get freeze dry? I think it does.
Yes, it
Yes.
does. It does.
Yeah, that's a big boon for it as well.
I mean, it's still switching
Um,
out versus most of the wired types, but yeah, it does get freeze dry.
yeah, at least you can threaten them.
It does have
Um,
discharge.
it has Thunderbolt too, I think.
Does, yes.
Um, but yeah, anything else you want to say before we move on to the third weather?
Once again, if you're drafting Snow, instead of drafting the setter first, draft Alolan Sandshrew first. You can
Agreed,
have your choice
100%.
of setters at the end of the draft. I doubt there's going to be 3 different people who are going to want to draft the setters outside of you when you have Alolan
Yeah,
Sandshrew.
and I will say, drafting Hail is less linear than Sun. It's not like you need to get specifically, like obviously there's no prankster mons that can set the Hail, and Slowpoke can work, but it's not as mandated on Hail. Hail or Snow is a lot more free in what you can draft, even if there are better options.
Yeah, something like a fighting check, fire check. I would say be the big ones
Pretty
there.
much.
Anything
Which I
that
mean,
can like,
every team should have those anyway. So
yeah, I mean
yeah,
like anything that can like take out all the mons that like Alolan Sandshrew can't break through. It'll be great to have.
yeah. I mean, as long as you have like a Mock Punch and Vacuum Wave switch in, like, and a Fire switch in, you'll mostly be fine.
Oh, and the way to break through like the bulky waters as well. So like a good electric
Hmm.
type, good grass type, something like that.
Yeah, for sure. So the third weather, and now this is where the bar really drops down. Like, I've I drafted this once myself, didn't do great with it. It's sand teams. Um, Hippopotas is your only sand setter, but your sand rush abusers is Drillbur and Sandshrew, which is pretty good.
Oh yeah, like those are like really good like sand abusers. The big issue is you're drafting Hippopotas.
Exactly.
And that's just a momentum suck. Which is really unfortunate because like I would think sand would be so cool to like have if it just wasn't for the fact that Hippopotas is not good in Little Cup.
Yeah, I mean, legit. What I have done is whenever I draft Drillbur, I have run some Pokemon where, like, I don't know, I'll have my like Steel type run Sandstorm
Oh yeah,
just so I can
manual
get my
sand
number
is
done.
just like I think you run manual sand if you're drafting Drillbur or Sandshrew over drafting Hippopotas with them.
Yeah, like one time I think I used I think it's called Smooth Rock. I used like Smooth Rock Q-Fant to set up the sand for me and just demolished everything with Drillbur.
It's got fire.
But drafting Hippopotas, that means you're giving. I'm sorry, there's a fat ass groundhog outside my window now. That's surprised the hell out of me. Jesus.
He heard
Like,
Hippopotas.
hey,
He's
you talking
standing on
about
his
my
hind
cousin?
leg. He's freaking me out. Um, but anyways, yeah. So you give up 9 points typically, and you're stacking your type weaknesses. And besides the actual sand, Hippopotas does not offer a whole lot. I mean, it's a ground type with recovery, pretty tanky. That's nice. I ran like a curse and body press set one time, which isn't too bad. It's not great. It's just really a momentum sink. I very
Yeah.
rarely ever see Hippopotas actually drafted. Or if I do, it's not meant for sand. They just wanted a bulky ground.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it gets like whirlwind, so like phasing options. It's not. But you really rarely see sand teams. I did. I remember using. Whenever I did actually draft Sun, I got Laleep for Storm Drain and Special Defense Boost, and I realized how bad Laleep actually was. But it took care of the water types.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. I mean, also like the big issue is like um the Sand Rush mons of like Drillbur and Sandshrew. They can just boost their speed with Rapid Spin to the point where they are outspinning most of the meta anyways. So it's like, do you need to
For
have them
sure.
be? Do you need to have like a time to set up sand for them when they could just boost their speeds themselves when they're getting rid of hazards on your side? It just makes it really, really tough to like use sand then. So that's the biggest issue with it. They just made Rapid Spin
For
way too
sure.
good for Little Cup.
And then the other thing too is that either you have to use Smooth Rock Hippopotas or find some other way to get the Drillbur in, because if you don't, then you use one turn at the start of the fight, and then you either have to use a second turn and hard switch in Drillbur, or find some way to pivot Drillbur in, and you only get like two, maybe three if you predict right turns of actually sweeping, and you have to do it all over again. It's a very not easy procedure to do. And then if you're using Smooth Rock Hippopotas, like it's not even that great of a mon anymore
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
not
not as
bulky
tanky.
enough to live hits anymore as many hits.
It's yeah, it's a sad mon, but yeah, honestly, Hippopotas is better on its own than drafting it with another ground type. And that's not saying much. It's not great anyway, but
Yeah.
regardless.
Has
All right.
anyone ever used Sand Force
Anything
with?
else? What
Like
were
Sand
you saying,
Force?
Matrix?
Yeah, I was gonna say, has anyone ever tried using Sand Force with the hunting?
I did. It was a really kooky team. It was with sticky webs. I did
That sounds
leap.
fun.
I did cutie fly webs, smooth rock, sandstorm, poniard, and then put in drillbur.
Sounds fun. I like that.
Granted, you only do it when drillbur is literally going to 6-0 their team.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
That's
mean, to
fair.
be fair,
Get rid
if
of the water
Dribbles went
types, get
6
rid of the
the
grass.
team, I don't think you need to be Sand Force. I think you just be regular Drillbur and you still 6-0 the team.
Sometimes the sand force boot, like I know Life Orb drillbur without sand force cannot OHKO Eviolite Toad School with X Scissor. So the sand force boost does have some nice calcs sometimes.
Or you just, I guess if you didn't have the coverage your SD.
Yeah. I mean, all this to say, sand can work and drillbur is very threatening, but there's more consistent ways to set up your drillbur than
Yeah,
drafting Hippopotas.
is not the way.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's the best way to
Um,
get up sand, but it's the worst way to run Sand Rush on anything. Which is
yeah.
really weird, but it just be like that.
Um, Actually, we're gonna talk about the final weather, and there's a fifth topic I want to talk about a little bit. But for the fourth weather, we have rain, and rain's unique in that we don't have a Drizzlemon. No, Wingle doesn't have it. No, Poliwag does not have it. We don't have any Drizzlemons.
Yeah, there's no Drizzlemons in Low-Cup to run rain with, so it's
It's honestly, thank God. There'd be too many broken water types with
oh
Swiftsway.
my gosh, yeah, like manual
There are
rain
a
itself
lot of water
is
types.
still really nice. Like with Kabuto or Ammonite is really good
Hon-
still then.
Honestly, rain is probably better than sand. I just talked about sand first because it had a actual setter.
I do agree that rain is better than sand.
Yeah,
There's just a
I
lot
third
of
that.
really like nice, cheap Swift swim ons.
Yeah. Does Weasel get Swift Swim?
It
It
does, and it
does.
got wave crash this generation.
Yeah, I was like, I know it got Wave Crash, which made it better. It's just
Weasel is goaded. I love Weasel in this gen.
Yeah, you have like even like Anorith, which doesn't use the water type boost, but that double speed can be really nice in some matchups.
Yep. Did not know he got Swift Swim. I didn't really ever peg him to be a Swift Swimmer.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
I
think
mean it's a nice option.
most of the time Anorith runs battle armor, but yeah, that's a clean option.
Yeah, and the other thing too is okay, I gotta glaze up a Mon real quick. Psyduck, my goat, he got nasty plot this generation. Um,
True.
and I really do like him as like a nice cheap water type. So if you draft Psyduck and you have another way to set up Rain Dance, he's actually pretty threatening. Pretty good special attack stat with nasty plot. You'll blow shit up.
Okay. All right.
Oh, you should look
All
into the
right.
other
All
one.
right. Don't go too far
I
off the edge here.
I like Psyduck. He's actually good. T-Row does not believe in it.
It's okay. I
One
like
day he will
Cherubi,
believe.
but you don't see me gassing that thing up.
All right, children.
All right. And what was the last thing you wanted to talk about?
It's not really a weather, but it acts in the same way. I wanted to talk about Trick Room a little bit. It's not a weather, but like same concept.
I mean, I just it sucks. It's very
Weren't you the one that
niche.
was using? Weren't you using like Trick Room Slowpoke for a while there?
It's very niche, as I say. It's very niche. You do not draft a Trick
True.
Room
I just
team.
wanted to.
Like you draft a mon that can use Trick Room, but do not make it your main objective.
Yes. I want to throw a quick mention to it just because there are some fun strategies you can do with it. You don't draft a Trick Room team, but there's some hard hitting little cut mons. You can do some fun stuff with it.
Yeah,
And
it's just
because no one's ever expecting you to pull it out.
yeah. Unless you drafted Solosis, then they're just questioning why you drafted Solosis, and they're like, oh, this is probably gonna run Trick Room.
Yeah. But you can bring like if you get Pumpkaboo, you can apparently Toad School gets Trick Room. I did not know this.
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently.
I mean,
That's
17 speed, so I don't think you really need to run it, but you know, it gets it.
to be fair, it's going last anyway, even if you click it.
Yeah, also Trick Room Spritzy, that's a thing. That's a legit thing.
That is a thing. That is a thing.
That is a legit thing you should keep in mind. Trick Room Slowpoke kind of.
Spritzy. Oh yeah, I forgot Spritzy does run Trick Room a lot.
This is very niche, but like running a Berry Juice Frillish, using Trick Room and then having Water Spout. Very niche, but it's funny.
Until you
Just
get hit
thought of
by
it.
knockoff.
True.
Where do we put? What would we consider grassy terrain in Grookey?
Fuck it. We're talking about field effects at this point. We can throw it in here for a quick minute here. It's the only it is the only terrain setter. Every other terrain is not worth running, even manual. It
Yep.
may be very, 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 very niche situations. Groupie's our only grassy terrain setter, but that helps a lot of unburdened Pokemon like Shroodle, Trico, Drifloon, Purloin. Am I missing anyone important?
Let me check.
I think it's all of them that are important at least. And then of course there's
Uh,
Woobat with the
Right, right. Woobat with simple, calm mind, grassy seed.
yep. To get that double defense boost because Woobat's defense is garbage and it needs it.
Oh shit, guys! I forgot about unburdened Nickit. How dare I?
how dare you? Oh, did you talk about unburdened Swirlix, which should never be a thing?
Oh yeah, we don't typically talk about
we
Ubers,
we
but
don't talk
yeah,
about
that
Ubers.
but that is broken. But yeah, um, and nothing else you really uses Grassy Glide. So typically, Grassy Glide Goofy's banned, but several leagues are trying it out and legalizing it to see what happens because it was nerfed. So
Starting to see it a
maybe the
lot more.
changes. Yeah, it's a more modern thing. So Grassy Glide Grookey's becoming legal again. But yeah, really, Grassy Terrain teams are a legit thing. You'll get a Grookey first, and you'll get Pokemon like Shroodle or Woobat or Drifloon if you want them as partners.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think usually if I see a Grookey, usually the first pick I usually see that goes with it is Ponyta. Shout
That's
out.
like more of a core than it is like a
yeah,
mon that
that's not like
uses
a
specifically
Oh
grassy
yeah.
terrain. That's more of a core than an actual like ability proc by
But
the
anyways,
field
before we
effect.
think of some other random field effect here, I think that's about it for this episode.
Yeah. All right.
Very true.
Yep. Thank you all
Is there
so
anything
much
else
for
you'd like to
watching.
say?
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below.
See you. And next episode will be our last one before we're gonna big hiatus. I know you'll miss us very much.
I know I'll miss us too. I love just yapping about Little Cup.
We'll be back
True.
later though, don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll see
Thank
you for next
you.
episode.
Yeah. See y'all. Thank you, Matrix, for joining.
Deuces.
See you.
Of course. I enjoyed being
Peace.
here. Thank you.